now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause I'm not gonna have match S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Now, I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, hit us up on a voicemail line. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. That number is 219-413-9405. And speaking of episodes, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off of your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. But I'm excited because today we got a special guest. Travis Hicks is in the building with us. Trav, what's good? What's going on with you, man? How you feeling, bruh?
Doing good, man. It's always a pleasure to be back on my favorite sports podcast. I believe the best podcast out there. So it's always a pleasure talking sports with you, man. You've been doing your thing. Proud of you always. Excited to talk more sports today.
I appreciate that. Well, we got some good stuff because, as you know, SGA, he just extended the streak of 20-point games. So he recently passed Wilt Chamberlain. And anytime you pass a Wilt Chamberlain record, to me, that's just incredible. A lot of people don't even get near Wilt Chamberlain records, but Wilt Chamberlain had the record of 126 consecutive 20-point games, and now SGA just recently broke that record last night against the Celtics with 127 consecutive 20-point games. How you feeling about that? Is this something that deserves a bunch of hype, or is it more so just like where we're headed with the evolution of basketball?
It definitely deserves a lot of hype. I know I was actually talking to my friends about this. Some of them are like, it's kind of impressive, but the games play different. Listen, this is an NBA league that's seen Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and other great scorers like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. None of them have gotten close to this streak. So for SGA to have 127 straight games of 20 points or more, especially the last two games, what he did against Boston in that game winner against Denver, he's been clutch too. We got to give him his praise. I know people want to say three-throw merchant, but SGA has solidified himself as the best player in the world. And I think the streak is very important. I think it's very, something that we shouldn't take for granted because it's something we haven't seen before. So, he's been amazing. And I think 127 straight games with 20 points or more, that's hard to do. That's very hard to do.
This is true. All right, I feel a little bit of a ways about it. Like, it's cool. It's definitely a good record. Don't get me wrong. It's very impressive, but I think it's one of those empty-weighted type of stats. Like, I just think it's one of those, like, nobody's going to remember this stat in 10 years. Like, to me, and I do not like comparing things because I think comparison is the thief of joy sometimes, but I just look at different records and different stats, like it just holds more weight. Like Bam's 83-point game, which we'll talk about in just a second, is like a record that probably won't be touched for some time. Whereas same with SGA, but it's a little bit different. It's just a little bit different, man. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's just a little bit different. I think maybe because it's more spread out and it takes more time to accumulate that, but I don't know, man. I don't know why, to me, where it really it's like an empty weighted stat.
Manny, I got to disagree with you. I love you, but I got to disagree with you. Manny, 127 straight games with 20 points or more. This is why it's not an empty stat. It's so hard to maintain that level of consistency. You're going to have nights where you go 5 of 15, 5 of 20. You're going to have some great nights where you go 15 of 18, like what SGA did last night. Like, that is really hard to do. Like, to even get 20, you got to think Kobe never did this. Jordan never did this. LeBron never did this. Other great players, but SGA did it. So I think it's very important we don't let this go. And plus, this is a stat that Wilt held. Wilt has so many unbreakable records and all that stuff. So to get this 127 points, or 20 points in 127 straight games is amazing because it's something we wouldn't have seen maybe 10, 15 years ago in basketball. Obviously, the game is played different. Defense is not as good as it once was, but I think to show that level of consistency, and SGA's doing it with not so much as a three ball. Obviously, he can shoot the three, but he's doing it from the midi. Obviously, he's getting to the free throw line. He's getting, to the hole. So I think the way his game if you don't just look at the free throws, I know people want to say he's a free throw merchant. SGA has a smooth scoring game
for sure.
And we got to give him, his props. And I'll be real, I'm not even the biggest SGA guy, but for him to do what he's doing, I mean, to break this record coming off an MVP, a Finals MVP, and now he's likely to win MVP again. I think this stat is going to hold more weight because of the accolades he could keep winning.
Yeah, okay, all right. I'll give you that. I'm on this. So it's impressive. Again, very impressive. I'm not trying to discredit this record, and I'm not trying to discredit his streak of 20-point games. I just don't like it for the fact that people can use this as a way to say, oh, he's better than this person in scoring, which he's an incredible scorer. And I think he's definitely one of the best scorers of this generation and one of the best scorers in the NBA, if not the absolute best scorer in the NBA. But I don't like how later down the line we'll say, oh, well, SGA was better than him. He had 127 games of scoring 20 points. And it's like, that's cool. But sometimes things change where sometimes games are blowouts. Sometimes guys get pulled early. Sometimes resting happens. It's a lot of different things that go into this. And I kind of compare it. Now let's compare a little bit to this Bam 83-point game, where obviously Bam is a very skillful player, but he's not the only player, if given the opportunity, could score 83 points. So I kind of go back and forth there. I think it's just a weightless stat, man. It's cool. It's great. And applause to him. Dope. I think it's tremendous, but to me, I can't get worked up about it, and he'll continue to extend his streak. Now, yeah, I just, it's tough because really it's 2 seasons of 20-point games, and they'll probably continue on further and further. But for some weird reason, it's just not moving me. I don't know what it is, Trav. It's not moving me, man.
Though, I think what Shai is doing, I think it's a very hard stat. Like, even prime Harden, like, I'm going to use James Harden as an example, what he did in Houston. Like, he didn't do this. Like, for 2 straight seasons and not, obviously he's had off nights, but to not have an off night bad enough where you didn't at least get 20, that says a lot. And even if people want to bring up, well, he's getting a lot of free throws, we know a lot of great players who can't make free throws. Like LeBron sometimes will struggle with the line, Shaq and other, there's other players. So I think for SGA to do this, it takes a lot of skill and talent, and I can't get with you on that, Manny. I got to disagree. I think what Shai is doing, this is very impressive, especially anytime you break a Wilt Chamberlain record.
Wilt records is crazy. Wilt records is crazy, and I thought Bam was actually going to get close to doing it. So it makes me think, is this – so I kind of asked earlier a little bit, but we didn't really go down that hill. Is this streak of 127 games scoring 20-plus points more impressive than Bam's 83-point game? I think Bam's 83-point game is more impressive because it takes a shit ton of conditioning. He had to also make a lot of free throws, and ultimately he did make shots, and he had 40-plus at halftime, and he was absolutely hooping. So anybody who's like slandering him, saying, oh, well, they were fouling so he could get extra points, yeah, it also happened in the Wilt game back in when you look at the stat sheet and you look at everything that actually occurred in that game. That also happened. But for that first half, Bam was just getting pure buckets. He was hooping. So to me, I think that's more impressive.
That's a tough question. Now, I know we disagreed on the first part. I got to say what Shai has been doing is amazing. I think we just can't overlook it, especially since he'll more than likely win MVP unless something happens. But I do got to agree. I got to say Bam's 83-point game is more impressive than the streak. And the reason why I say that, people can say what they want. I know he shot 20 of 43 from the field, and he obviously had 43 free throws. But to score 83 in a game, and I'm a Kobe guy to the core, R.I.P. Mamba. But what Bam did, we can't overlook it, because if anybody can get 83, then they would just get 83. We haven't seen that. Like, we've seen Donovan Mitchell get 71. We've seen Luka get, 70, and I believe Devin Booker got 71 too, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like other guys that are great and better scorers than Bam have done it. So for Bam to do it, we have to give that props, just because, like, it's something we might not ever see again. Now, when you look in history, it's Wilt 100, Bam 83, Kobe 81, and nobody, if you asked them 5 years ago, could have saw that coming. So that's why I got to say Bam is more impressive, because no disrespect to Bam, Bam out of all people got this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You would probably expect a Shai to get 83, maybe Luka or anybody else who's of that essence of, one of the best scorers, but Bam. And he's not no scrub. I'm not going to discredit Bam. But, like, for him to do that, we got to give credit to it because, and Bam also is somebody, who works hard, plays the right way. And I got to give him his props. I know people will be upset how he got it. And one extra thing I want to add to why Bam's thing is more impressive. Manny, you and I are sports guys. We've seen Clay get 60 and 3/4 off 11 dribbles. We've seen Kobe get 62 and 3/4 and not play the fourth. Other guys have had great scoring nights and they didn't get a chance to play the fourth. So I got to say, I love what Eric Spoelstra did, letting him go after it, because you might never get an opportunity like that. If you're on a heater, why not try to see what you can do? Because it made me think watching that. I watched Klay Thompson hit 14 threes and 3/4, which is still an NBA record. Clay could have maybe got 20 if he played the fourth. So it's like, I get it, even if it's a blow. It's not about showing them up. I think what Bam did was so impressive, so we got to give him that.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Kobe got through it all. Favorite player, I know it's always the Mike, Bron, and KD and all of this, but Kobe, he's always at the top for me, no matter what. But I'm not mad that Bam got this, bro, because he still had to get it done. Like, even though they was fouling and all that, he had to get it done, and he had to put up 50. And honestly, it's not Bam's fault that he was able to break this record. If you're the Wizards, why the hell did you let him get 60 in the first 3/4? Why the hell you let him finish halftime with 40 plus? So it's not even Bam's fault. If everybody want to be mad at Bam, but it's like, you mad at Bam for the wrong reasons. You need to be mad at the Wizards and Alex Sarr for getting lit up like that in the first half, and for the coach for finally double and triple teaming him after he has 65. Like, bro, that doesn't make sense to me, because to me, if you really don't want a guy to get that many points and to have those opportunities to foul and point shave even more and stat pad and all of that, then you need to stop him from getting that many damn points way earlier in the game. So it's just weird to me, because now that he was on the verge of making history, now you want to send triple teams. Now you want to send 4 players his way. Like, and damn it, what's crazy is he was still scoring and during that time. So it's weird to me, but it's crazy too, kind of thinking about the SGA thing. This moved me, the Bam Adebayo 83 points, moved me just a little bit more than SGA's streak. And I know SGA is going to continue on this streak, and maybe it will get to a point where it's like, all right, this is ridiculous. This is really moving me. Maybe SGA gets to 200 games of 20 points consecutively. And at that point, I'll be moved. I'll be moved at that point. I'll be like, all right, this is actually crazy. The man done went like 3 seasons over 20 plus. But I still just think it's a shameless stat.
I gotta disagree with you on that. It's not shameless. No, that's a little bit ridiculous.
Shameless is crazy.
127 straight games of 20 or more, Manny.
Shameless is crazy,
incredible. But that is a little crazy. But to go back to the Bam thing, people upset. Like, I agree. Don't be upset with Bam. If he's on a heater, let him go. Like you just said, the Wizards should be just ashamed. How do you let a man do that? The Wizards are just an awful team and really bad franchise. But that's another story for another day. But for him to get that many and people upset, and like you just said, we're both Kobe fans. People are like, well, he shouldn't have did that to Kobe. It's like Kobe, his whole brand is a Mamba mentality. If Kobe was alive, not putting words in his mouth, more than likely he would have wanted him to move forward and pass him. It's not like Bam's going to get to 80. Let me miss the next 3 throws to pay respect to Kobe. People have been like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's lame
to me. Yeah, so it's like, no, records are meant to be broken, and things like that are just going to happen over time. Like, growing up, Ray Allen was the best shooter of all time, and Steph Curry happened. So I'm not comparing Bam saying he's going to be better than Kobe, because he's not. But for him to have the night he had and to etch his name in the record books, no matter what Bam does for the rest of his career, that's something he could share with his kids, saying, I have the second most points in the history of basketball.
In the history of the game, man. And it's only somebody eventually is going to get that record somewhere down the line, because that's what happens. But I wasn't mad at it, bro. At this point, watching him when he was getting 75, 78, when he was around that range, I'm like, bro, I hope he gets the 100 points. I hope he not only get Kobe record, but I hope just to witness history and be able to see that, because you think about it, how many people do we know? I mean, I don't know anybody. Maybe you know. How many people do you genuinely know that witnessed Wilt's 100-point game?
Nobody.
Like in my whole life, I've never met a single person that was like, yeah, I remember reading it in the paper when Wilt scored. I ain't never seen it. So for me, I'm like, I hope Bam get 100. I hope I can be a part of this and witness and tell people exactly how it happened and be able to join these conversations of, yeah, see when Bam scored 83 and then see when Kobe scored 81, it was just different. And when Luka scored 72, it was just, I want to be that old head that's explaining the differences in all of these games. So I was hoping Bam got as many points as possible and honestly got up there to Wilt's 100 record because I'm on the side of seeing that history. So I was cool with it.
No, I think you make a great point. What you just made a point of, you just made me realize there's a lot of fake basketball fans. If you really love Kobe, you'd be happy for Bam. Because that's what sports is about. How many times can we say we're going to see somebody else win 7 Super Bowls like Tom Brady?
Man.
Or watch for a guy throw for over 500 yards in a game, or see like when Peyton Manning threw 7 touchdown passes in a game that's still an NFL record. I want to be alive to see, and I've been fortunate enough to see some of these things like you have as well. It's like we want to see history. So when somebody does it, regardless if it's an underdog knocking off the juggernaut favorite, to win a championship, or an underdog player, I think this is such a great story for Bam. Because out of all people, if I gave you 10 players right now that's going to break Kobe's 81-point record, I just had a conversation with God. He told me one of these 10 players are going to break it. You would probably pick 10 of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Right.
Ain't no way I would have picked Bam.
So that's my point. That's not even no disrespect to Bam. Because like I said, he's a really good center, but he's not one of the 10 best players in the league. So that's what makes this story even better. This is like when people keep saying like, what happened to the game I love? No, what is wrong with you? You don't love this game. Like what Bam did is amazing because we can look at this years from now and be like, we witnessed 83, or if somebody breaks at 83 and goes for 85 or 90, or like you said earlier, passes 100. We want to see that because nobody we know that's alive saw Wilt's 100-point game. And really, we don't even know if it's true sometimes because Twitter has pictures from everything of the past besides his 100-point game.
Hey, man,
I've
that's
seen
true.
so much history and memes, but not Wilt's 100-point game. So I can at least say I saw Bam's 83 with my own 2 eyes.
It's that too, but I agree, bro. It was a myth for a long time. And no shade to Bam, because this is going to sound like it's shade, but no shame to Bam. After watching 83 points being scored in that game, I know for sure Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. And it's okay. I don't care that they don't have video footage. But they say NBA wasn't as popular during that time. They didn't have cameras ready. It wasn't televised. This is why I really think Bam scored, or Wilt scored 100 points in that game, because I would have never, ever, ever, ever in my life expected Bam to score 83 points on a random Tuesday night against the Washington Wizards. Nothing could have ever prepared me for that. So for that simple surprise factor right there, I understand why they wasn't peeping that Wilt was going to possibly score 100 and couldn't bring no cameras and wasn't expecting it, because it was just, bro, it's crazy. I would have never expected Bam to score 100 points or Bam to score 83 points. Like, on a random Tuesday night? Like, come on.
What's even crazy about Bam's record? Him getting 83, this is also the same league where arguably most people say the most efficient scorer ever. Kevin Durant's never even had a 60-point game. So, like, Bam got 80. So it just makes you think, like, about why we need to cherish this. Because if you're ever on a heater, you got to, like, go after the record. Because, honestly, if I was Bam, I would have done the same thing. It's like, it's something you could share with your kids. Obviously, shared it with A.J. Wilson in that post game. So for him to have that moment with him and his family, anyone hating on that, you don't really love the sport like that. And plus, Bam's not a hateable guy. He doesn't have no off-the-court issues. He's a guy who goes out there and hoops. Yep. And, like, he just had a night, one for the ages. So it's something to appreciate.
Facts. Yeah, man, I agree, dog. I agree. Sometimes this is kind of, last thing and I'll wrap it up, this is kind of what made me really appreciate LeBron during his prime years because, again, big Kobe guy. So early on, I always hated those conversations that Bron is better than Kobe. I was one of them dudes always defending Kobe no matter what. And I was like not having any of that LeBron stuff. I'm like, Kobe got 5. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Bron barely grabbed his 4. But what made me appreciate that was the simple fact that it was just greatness. Like, he's a great player. Like, this is a once in a lifetime experience. Like, coming back from the 3-1 lead, it's like I don't know if we'll ever even see that again, but luckily we were there at that time to be able to witness that and witness the camaraderie and witness exactly how it happened, seeing Draymond get suspended and just seeing like how everything played out and being able to watch every game of that finals. Crazy. It's just crazy. So that's really what made me grow to appreciate just like the present moment of certain guys defining greatness. Even as much as I hate Tom Brady, and I still haven't come around to him coming back.
That's my goal. You and Ron will stop the madness right now. I just gotta say that.
I still haven't come around to appreciating that comeback 28-3. So everything else, cool. Greatest. But that's part of the reason why I want Mahomes to go ahead and I want Mahomes to be as great as possible. Let's get 10 Super Bowl Mahomes. Like, I ain't no Mahomes guy. I just want to see greatness. And right now, Mahomes has the throne of greatness, and he's been that guy of this era from the quarterback position. So I'm like, hey, if he goes on and can tie Brady's record, can beat it, can get close to it, doesn't even beat it, either way, I just want to appreciate it.
No, I definitely agree with you. That was well said. And no, we got to appreciate greatness because like some of these records only come around every so often. Like, like even like when we talk about just like records in the NBA, we saw Steph's 402 threes in a season. Yeah. That record might never be broken, or it could be, down the line with how the game's evolving. So no, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So anyway, look, man, we got some more stuff because the Detroit Pistons, number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference as of right now, as I've mentioned multiple times to all my listeners, I can't stop talking about it. I am a little scared, though, because the play hasn't been matching up to the number 1 seed. So we're going to discuss this in just a second. So don't go anywhere. We'll take a quick break.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the number 1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. Still here with my guy, Travis Hicks. We are about to break down these Detroit Pistons, number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. But, dog, I really don't think we've been playing like a number 1 seed lately, Trav, and I'm a little nervous. So what I kind of want to discuss is if we got to handpick our way to the finals, who will we choose? Who are we choosing if we're handpicking our ways to the finals? And let's just start with the first round right now.
So I would say I believe we're going to beat Miami if they're the 8th seed, or anybody who's the 8th seed. Like I know the Magic are like the 6th seed. If they fall, I believe we're definitely going to win the first round. I'll be real. I don't know if you're going to agree with this. The Cavs, they don't worry me. People are like,
Cavs don't worry you?
No, not in the playoffs. James Harden has choked notoriously in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell is not the greatest playoff performer. You also got to think, this is a team that won 60-plus games a year ago and lost in the second round to Hallie and those boys with the Pacers. So the Cavs, I'm not really worried about them in the postseason. I think they're a good regular season team because you got to think Harden and Mitchell, these guys are great, but they're not great playoff performers. They've never made great playoff runs. So I believe we'll beat them in the playoffs. Now, the one team, I believe we can even beat the Knicks, but the Knicks will be a 6-7 game series. I'm not going to, what Jalen Brunson and them did last year, Cat, they got a great team. But the team I really think that we would struggle against, maybe lose, is Boston. I think with Tatum back, the Celtics are that team again. Tatum, Brown.
I'm scared of the Celtics too, but I gotta stop you. We gotta, let's go back. Rewind. Cavs don't scare you. Okay. I understand the Harden and the Donovan Mitchell. Neither one of them really like show up as much in the playoffs. Definitely Harden has that stigma behind his name of not showing up in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell he gives buckets in the playoffs. He gave his buckets last year in the playoffs too, if we're being honest. But outside of D. Mitch and James Harden, the one other factor that scares me, one, matchups against the Detroit Pistons, and also Evan Mobley. Dog. The man is just disgustingly underrated. I think Evan Mobley is probably one of the best forwards in the game right now, if not the best forward in the game, because this man can score outside, inside. He can also distribute a tiny bit. Not saying he's like Donovan Mitchell with the distributing or anything like that, or James Harden, but the man is very dynamic when he's on the floor. And let's not forget the most important component that he brings to the Cavs is the fact that this man plays defense, and it's incredible defense at that. So it's not even really James Harden, Donovan Mitchell that scare me the most out of the Pistons, because they are also a nightmare matchup for the Pistons because they can score so much. But it's Evan Mobley, because we can put a SAR on James Harden. We can put Ron Holland on Donovan Mitchell, or switch that, whatever. We have defenders, but dog, I just don't know that we'll have somebody for Evan Mobley. And I know Stewart is our best defender in my opinion, but I don't know if it's much he could do with Evan Mobley, to be honest.
Now, you make a good point. Evan Mobley is a dog, but I got to tell you this. Isaiah Stewart, dog on defense, like you just said.
Facts.
And Jalen Duren, this has been his coming out party. He's an all-star. And the reason why I believe we would beat them, and I'm not saying a sweep either. I'm saying I believe we would beat the Cavs in 6 games. Like, the Cavs are not like a bad team. I think we'll beat them in 6, yeah, for sure. Because Donovan Mitchell and James Harden cannot guard Cade Cunningham. Jalen Duren's going to do his thing because Cade has got him as a better player. Tobias has been, pretty consistent, getting that 15 to 20 at times. Duncan Robinson's been a great shooter. Now, when you look at our team, this Pistons team is equivalent to, I'm going to say, the 2011 Bulls with Derrick Rose when he won his first MVP. It's like a star player, and you got a lot of role players around him. There's no true second star. So when you look at that, you might think, well, the Cavs are the better team because they got 2 stars. But no, Pistons collectively play better as a team, because I think the issue what's going to be with the Cavs, they're going to play a lot of one-on-one isolation ball, because you got to think, Evan Mobley's watching Donovan Mitchell and James Harden take turns going one-on-one. It's not really a lot of flowing in the offense, because even when Harden and them get their assists, it's a lot of fast break assists, lobs, and things like that. So Evan Mobley's technically a third option on that team. He's still a great player, and he would be a first or second on many teams, but on this team, he's a third. So with Harden's recent, and I could be wrong, but what he's done in the playoffs over the recent years, including even last year, I just can't really say they would beat us in the playoff series. I think it can get pushed to 6 or 7, but that 6 or 7 game, you're going to see James Harden have his usual playoff bad performance, I believe.
Well, shit, I'll tell you right now, man, I'm scared of the Cavs. I'm glad somebody else got confidence, but I'm scared of the Cavs to see them in the playoffs. But I agree with you partially on that. Like, there is the side of history of some of Harden not really showing up, and Stu, great defender. So maybe it's just, man, I'm scared. I don't think it's a way we can match up against them in the first round. I think they would have to drop very far in order for us to be able to see them in the first round, because they're 4 seed right now.
When I brought them up, I'm saying like that would be a potential second round matchup.
Oh, second round, okay.
First round, because they're a 4 seed, assuming they win their first round too.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And all right, my first round. If I have to handpick who the Pistons are playing in the first round, please somehow give me the Toronto Raptors. I want the Toronto Raptors. I think they're a great team, and I don't know shade on the Raptors. I think they're a great team. They have a lot of potential, but they are an awful shooting team, and I think matchup-wise, the Pistons would just be very good for them because they can't shoot the ball good. They're not really the best defensive team. They turn the ball over a good amount, and for the Pistons, this is where we thrive. If you're going to shoot threes and miss a bunch of them, we're going to grab the rebounds and go coast to coast and score some easy points. I think this would be helpful for the Pistons. Also, too, in another sense of being a great defensive team for the Pistons, if you're already shooting bad, I'm sure we're going to make it more difficult for you to shoot and score points, which is helpful for us. You're not really the best rebounding team also for the Toronto Raptors. You shoot awful from the 3-point line, which is helpful for the Detroit Pistons. And again, this team with the Toronto Raptors have a lot of potential, but just based on matchup and statistics, I think this would be very beneficial for the Pistons to see them maybe first or second round. I doubt the Raptors fall all the way to the AC, but right now they are sitting at the 7th seed, so possibly. And then second round, I want the Knicks. I know you were about to mention that about possibly playing the Knicks. at some point in the playoffs, but I'm very, very confident that the Pistons would beat the Knicks in the playoffs just for the fact that we've tossed them around all season long. The Pistons have beaten the Knicks by an average of 28 points all through the regular season. So I'm very confident that the Pistons would beat the Knicks if we match up in the playoffs. Also, aside from all the other statistics that may be advantages and disadvantages, the Knicks are just fairly inconsistent. So for a Pistons team that struggles offensively sometimes outside of their primary scorer in Cade Cunningham, the Knicks also are very inconsistent at times. So this could be beneficial in the Pistons being able to use that as leverage to win some ball games in the playoffs. So I would be happy seeing the Knicks also, and that could get us to the conference finals for sure.
Oh, yeah, I love that. The Knicks, I would love to get revenge. Obviously, they beat us last year in 6 games.
That
so
too.
I think that would be amazing to get that revenge. But I do love that pick, but I'm gonna stick with mine as far as the second round. I would love to see the Cavs. And to answer your first question, first round, I actually think we could play the Heat. I think that's the one team I would like to see. I know we were just talking about Bam 83-point games, but I like that matchup of Bam and Duran because I think they cancel each other out, especially with the way Duran's playing.
Yeah.
They don't really have a guard that can stay up with Cade. And I believe with our team, Cade can create, make space on the floor to get Duncan Robinson open shots, get Tobias open shots, and, some of our better shooters. But I think that's the team. If we were to get the Heat in round 1, I think that would be a gentleman's sweep, about 5 games, because I think we could beat them. That's what I would like to see in the first round. Personally,
I'd be cool with the Heat too. I'd be cool with the Heat also because they don't have a lot going for them right now. History has not been on their side lately. They also don't have a very deep team. They have great players. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of matchups, I think the Pistons can match up very well with them. Defending wise, Tyler Herro's not going to go out there and shut Cade down. And if we're clicking on all cylinders, if we finally get this shooting thing fixed, as we're trending in the right direction after that awful 8-game stretch that we had, we're finally trending in the right direction, being able to knock down some threes again. I think it could be very beneficial to see the Miami Heat. I ain't going to go as far as saying the gentleman's sweep. That's a little crazy to me.
Crazy.
That's a little crazy to me. We just lost to the Heat, and it was embarrassing, bro. It was embarrassing when we just lost to the Heat. So I ain't go, and I know that's regular season playoffs is different, but I ain't going to say gentleman's sweep, but I'll give us a 4-1, 4-2 win over the Miami Heat in the first round if we match up against them.
So a gentleman's sweep is like a 4-1 because that's where they get the one game. So you do agree with that?
Oh, okay, yeah. My bad. My bad. I was on the terms of clean sweep.
That's
clean
more
sweep.
So I'll be
I just
real,
heard sweep, and I heard sweep. Sweep that's really what was engraved into my brain. I heard sweep, and that means 4-0. So it just it threw me off.
You're good.
It threw me off.
The reason why I said gentleman's sweep and they'll at least get the one game is because even though they don't have a Jimmy Butler no more, Tyler Herro and Bam have still made the finals. They have playoff experience.
Facts.
I think they're good enough to at least get a game or two. That's a good point in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that, Dan. So I do agree with you on there. And okay, so you picked Cavs first round that we will match up. No. I'm sorry.
No,
first
Heat.
round. Yeah, first round. You said Heat. Miami Heat to match up in the first round. Second round was the Cleveland Cavaliers to match up against. Eastern Conference Finals. It will get a little scary.
Yeah.
I believe that would probably leave us maybe with the Celtics.
If I have
or
to
possibly
be honest, I'm not sure we could beat Boston. That's the one team in the East I really don't know if we could beat them in a 7-game series because people, when you look at this was supposed to be an off year for Boston. Tatum is now coming back from an Achilles 2 months after. They lost Drew Holiday. They lost Al Horford. They lost Kristaps Porzingis. They don't have the same team. And Jaylen Brown still got them to a 2 seed. He's somebody who should be in the MVP combo, but that's a conversation for another day. Happy you agree. So what he's done, and now you bring Tatum back, and Tatum is starting to get into his groove. It's obviously going to take some more games because it's been 10 months of not playing basketball. Tatum and Brown have made 5 conference finals together and made 2 NBA finals and have a championship together. Jalen's only 29, and Tatum just turned 28. These guys have been running the East for the last few years. People need to realize that. So I don't know if we could beat Boston just because they know how to turn up in the playoffs, man. And if Tatum doesn't tear his Achilles last year, they might win that championship.
Probably,
they might go back to back. So, and that's also a team who I think can beat OKC if OKC were to make it again. So, Boston, I just think with that experience, I do think we could push it to about 6, but I just don't see us beating them because even if we have the 1 seed going into it, I do think they would still one of those 2 games at LCA, the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Then I don't know about winning in the Garden, dude.
I don't think that would happen.
Where the Celtics play.
Yeah, TD Garden. Yep, there's TD Garden.
TD Garden. Okay.
Yep, and Knicks is the Garden, I guess. I don't know what they're in.
Thank you.
Something like that, whatever it is. Madison Square Garden. Yeah, Madison Square Garden, TD Garden. Anyway, though, I agree, man. I'm legitimately scared of playing the Celtics in the playoffs. As a Pistons fan, I am legitimately scared to play the Celtics in the playoffs. I just don't think we have enough scoring to be able to keep up with them. And that's without Jason Tatum. But now that they got Jason Tatum back, someone who's guaranteed going to get 16 points minimum and also distribute the ball, grab rebounds, play defense, understand the way guys are moving on the floor, and just understand the game, I'm legitimately terrified. I don't want. That's one team. If we can avoid playing the Celtics all playoffs postseason, I'll be cool with that. But I think they are truly the best team in the Eastern Conference. Although Pistons are the number 1 seed, I think they have it on both ends where they can score with just about anybody and they also play defense on a very high level. So to me, although Pistons are the number 1 seed, I truly think the Celtics are the best team in the East.
And the reason why I agree, and I said Boston, was because Tatum came back. Without Tatum, I do give us more of a chance. It's just you're adding, in most people's mind, their best player back, a guy who's going to get you 20 to 25. His usual average, but I agree, at minimum 16. Mm-hmm. And they also still got Vucevic, the center from they got from the Bulls.
Yeah,
he's going to be back in a few weeks. So it's like you're getting healthy at the right time. Playoffs are around the corner, and they have championship experience.
Man,
that's why I'm like, I just don't know if we could beat Boston, like I said, because Tatum came back. They made the move for Vucevic. And also, we got to give the unsung hero his credit. Peyton Pritchard is a bucket.
Oh.
This man has been a shooter for them. As a guy who was off the bench last year, he is really gravitating to that starting point guard role that he really deserves. So, no, they just got a lot of shooting. Sam Hauser. This team is just really tough to beat. It's like what Boston has shown us this year, you really can't count them out because this was supposed to be a down year, and their down year is a 2 seed with just adding probably their best scorer back in Jason Tatum 2 weeks ago.
Second best scorer. But I agree. Second. Bro, okay. Come on, man. No. Jaylen Brown. I don't want to put them against each other, but Jaylen Brown is the best scorer on that team.
They're a duo. Hey, Jaylen Brown's a bucket. Tatum.
They are a duo. That's a side. That's a sub conversation, but second. That's at least where I stand. This is another conversation for a different day. But yeah, man, either way, it's incredible that they were able to maintain a second seed with another key piece, another elite scorer, and their co-star missing. It's insane. So I don't know, man. But I guess we'll find out what truly happens come playoff time. It's right around the corner. I know teams got like 18, 17, some teams even 16 games left. So it'll stretch out for like a couple more weeks. I think through the end of March, and then early April or mid-April is when the playoffs will get started. So it'll be interesting to see, man. But anyway, other than that, man, that's all I have. So, Trav, let the people know where they can find you on socials, man.
Manny, as always, it's a pleasure being on here. Thank you again for having me. You can all follow me on YouTube at Travis6_reporter, Twitter, Travis_reporter, and Instagram, Travis6_reporter, and Facebook's just Travis6.
Yeah, y'all heard the man. Go ahead, shoot him a follow. I'm going to leave on a positive note. The last positive note here is just going to be as simple as do not get turned away from going toward your dream, bro. Just whatever it is, just keep going. I know things might get rough. It might get shaky. You might not be able to see it form out in front of you, but just if you really care for it, keep working toward it. And eventually you're going to get there. So other than that, that's all we got, man. Follow me on Instagram as well, at The Run Podcast. Facebook, at The Run Podcast. YouTube, obviously, The Run with Manny Wilson. Hit us up on Spotify. Listen to the pod on there, The Run with Manny Wilson. And then Twitter, try and be more active on Twitter, of course, but at Podcast The Run. You can check out all the Falcons content, all the Pistons content, and just all the other news and whatever stuff. It gets a lot of quick responses about the news and stuff that's happening there. So check it out. Other than that, we'll be back later on. It was Friday. So we'll be back next week. And so on and so on and so on.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.